I've noticed a trend lately that a lot of EDC, pocket dumps, kit building videos focus a lot on light duty, slim, sleek, fidget friendly tools and equipment that are fine in an office, but they wouldn't last a week on a job site or in a hobbyist shop. So I want to break that mold with you today by sharing with you my list of heavy duty EDC items that I would trust on a job site or in a shop. And this is an on-body system. Every item that we're going to unpack today, I have on my person right now as I'm walking with you, and that I would absolutely feel comfortable with walking on to a job site or into a shop. And we're going to be looking at everything from multi-tools and utility knives to compact work lights, IFAKs, and so much more. And you may be curious as to what experiences I'm pulling on for choosing these pieces of gear. Well, in my late teens and early 20s, I did several blue-collar jobs, which just feels like a lifetime ago, including driving a top kick dump truck for a landscaping company, electrical apprentice for about 2.5 years, and then transitioned to an oil company where I worked in their rock shop, chemical labs, pressure labs, and then several times spending about 2 weeks on oil rigs right next to Roughnecks catching core, along with tons of other experiences throughout my life. So regardless if you're working a job like I've listed, or maybe you're starting out into homesteading, you own property, or you just like to work in your shop as a hobbyist, I believe a lot of these pieces of gear are really gonna make sense and are gonna be a lot more durable than some of the other stuff we see online. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and have some fun. Every good heavy-duty EDC has got to start off with a reliable utility knife. And throughout the years, I've had just about every make and model imaginable. I'm sure you're thinking, well, come on, the Milwaukee Fastback has got to be your top choice, right? Wrong. It would be the DeWalt push-button utility knife. This thing, as soon as I got my hands on it about 2 years ago, immediately replaced my Fastback because it has larger and more organic, simplistic ergonomics, so I can get full grip compared to a standard Fastback. The blade release is easier, and it has a wire clip that's reversible, so I can have it tip up just like all of my regular pocket knives. The push button is a little bit higher, easier to engage. On every level, it just checks the boxes that I look for in a utility knife. Now, a few of the items on our list are bundled together. So this aspect to the kit is built off of a Leatherman multi-tool, but because of the way the pouch is designed, we can add 2 items to it and still carry it on our person. So we'll get to the multi-tool in a second. Now, for years, I used Sharpies, but recently I discovered that Klein Tools has this pen right here. You know, we're talking about a $1 item here, but has a lanyard hole right here, so you have a secondary tethering option. Still have the same Sharpie, you know, pen. Caps are interchangeable, all that stuff, but I just like the design of the cap with that extra lanyard hole and the high vis. But on top of that, the whole body has more texture for ribbing and it tapers. So that makes it actually easier to slide into sleeves like this right here than a standard Sharpie. So little food for thought for you there. Now on the opposite sleeve pass through, we have our illumination, and I wish I knew about this light all those years ago because it works as a 2-for-1 flashlight, but also work light, a compact work light. And that's why I'm recommending it on this list. Now this is a Coast KL35R. I paid $20 for it. It's in their polymer line. It has an integrated battery with a USB-C plug, quick and easy. Now it has a normal flashlight, but this is where we're going to look at first. It has an area light on the side. Check that out. And it has 2 different settings, high and low. And then you can also have red and then blinking red if you need to alert somebody or keep somebody away, you know, do whatever you need to do. What makes this so cool is that if you didn't have a baseball cap, right, and you have this 2-way pocket clip so you can carry it, you know, in your pocket, but what if you're wearing a hard hat and that doesn't really work, or you're just wearing a beanie because it's cold, something like that, and you still need hands-free illumination and you don't want to set it down. Because of the pocket clip, you can now put this on any pocket on your jacket, pass it through your button up, put it even just on the collar of your t-shirt, and you now have a floodlight that you could easily like work on a furnace, work on an AC unit, change a tire. I mean, it definitely throws some, and I really appreciate that. Now add to that, you have a secondary front switch, which you hold down, you have turbo up to 600 lumens, and then you can cycle through high, medium, and low. You just click through there, high, medium, low, and it'll even tell you when you turn it on with that little green orb right there, hey, green, you still got a lot of juice. Red means, hey, we're getting low, we need to recharge this. Blinking red means it's time to recharge it. So for 20 bucks, I mean, it is an insane work light that gives you a lot of versatility for working with your hands. Now guys, the gear that we're unpacking today can definitely be carried on your person, but if you have more pockets and a well-built pair of pants, it will definitely help distribute the weight and the gear, making it more accessible on the fly. And that is where today's sponsor comes into play, which is LA Police Gear. And you may not know that they have an entire lineup of workman-focused pants, including the Everyday Joe 8-pocket stretch work pants that I've been actually wearing in this video, but that I've owned for almost 3 years now. Or the Tradesman 12-pocket stretch work pants with extra pockets to be able to handle those heavier tools that aren't going to make this list, but for those of you who need the most out of your pairs of pants. And if you want maximum capability, they've just released their ACP Cordura fabric in tandem with stretch panel pants with 14 different organizational pockets for ultimate carrying options and integrated D3O removable knee pads. And those are just a few of the many different pant options, both for men and women, that LA Police Gear carries. So I'm gonna have a link popping up. It's in the description box below as well, over to the site so you can start exploring. And don't forget about my exclusive 10% off promo code that you can apply not only to their pants, but to any other gear items site-wide. So I encourage you, check them out and get the right pair of pants for the work you need done. Okay, now for the multi-tool itself. And guys, this was a tough one. I was juggling between two, so much so I even put up a poll for you guys recently on YouTube to have you guys vote. Almost 2,000 of you voted on the two options when we're talking about like a heavy-duty EDC. And this is coming from somebody who owns probably about 30 multi-tools. Tons to choose from. And I really whittled it down to two. Either the Surge or the Super Tool 300. And on the poll, 60% of you said for heavy duty EDC, you'd go with the Surge. 40% of you said the Super Tool 300. For me personally, I would choose the Super Tool 300. And that's what we have in here, ready to rock and roll, along with a bit kit. You may not even know that the rebar and the Super Tool have the option for a bit kit. We'll get to that in a second. So the reason, why did I choose the Super Tool 300 over the Surge? The Surge is a little heavier, it's more expensive, it's not as ergonomic because of the angles and transitions, and there are moving parts that, meaning you have to remove the file and you might misplace it to put the saw in and vice versa. The Super Tool is simpler and just bomb-proof, and all of you agreed. I mean, that was definitely the comment over and over again, is Super Tool is bomb-proof. I kind of like the Surge a little bit more. The Surge is easier to get certain implements out one-handed. The Super Tool 300, you definitely have to use two hands to basically manipulate it. So that is something to just be aware of when you're maybe weighing between the two. But as every single implement that I've ever wanted throughout the years, I actually have two of these. They go in my survival kits. The only thing it does not have is a pair of scissors. And the reason I didn't really mind that is I never needed a pair of scissors in all the years of all the jobs that I ever did. That would require a multi-tool and be used regularly. And it's designed as like a backup tool to your tool kit. Tons of implements. The locking mechanism is super duper strong. Now, on top of that, there is right here a bit kit that you can get with this little sleeve right there that goes over your Phillips driver, just like that. And now, not only can I do any 1/4 inch driver bit, but I can also fit any of Leatherman's proprietary bits on there. And so that right there gives you a lot of versatility when you're in a pinch. And I know we're unpacking quite a bit of gear, and some of it is definitely unique. And I know I'm going to be getting the question, hey, where can I find this piece or that? So I have popping up here the link, as well as in the description box below, over to my Amazon store with a complete list of all the items that we're talking about today, so that if you find a piece of equipment that you want to start integrating in your own systems, you can check that out. And if it's not on that list, it'll be in the other affiliate links provided in the description below. Now, I'd say any good heavy duty EDC needs a good set of work gloves. And I have had these since we went full-time RVing about 5 years ago, and they fit what I look for in a pair of gloves, which is protection but dexterity. These are kind of a hybrid, and they're from Mechanics, so they're Mechanics gloves that use their Durahide palms, so extra protection than just nylon, but then breathability on the back, and the dexterity is fantastic. So I can spin in a bolt, tie on a wire nut, do things like that, but then protect me when I'm carrying a sharp, like galvanized piece of metal, you know, working on something in the furnace when we were doing that, or like just different things. Now, when I was on job sites, things like that, you know, you just stuff them in your back pocket of your work pants, but I know not everybody wears work pants. I know we do have some ladies who maybe just don't have that type of pants with big pockets, or maybe you are a delivery person, you know, you want work gloves, but you're just wearing gym shorts, you know, in the middle of July. Well, then I just recently saw some employees at the local hardware store using this Mechanics glove clamp. It's like, I don't know, $5-6. Clamps on, really holds those gloves into place, but it'll either pass right over a belt and keep in place, or you could put it on any pocket or the waistband of gym shorts. So just kind of a cool way to carry those gloves if you don't have enough pockets. Now, what I have in my back pocket, I've been really looking forward to sharing with you guys, because I've been carrying it all day, but this is my power and note-taking kit in our larger heavy-duty EDC system. Now, what's awesome about this is that this will fit in the back pocket of my LA Police Gear work pants we were talking about. And this is about 4.5 inches by 7 inches. Now you could get something smaller, larger, whatever. There's a notepad inside. We'll get to that in a second. I just found this on Amazon. You know, it's heavy duty canvas. What I liked about it is it was just a little bit larger, has some organization inside and 2 big pockets on the outside that allows me to build out this like super cool kit and have this on body. So on the front here, and we'll get to that first, is a knife sharpener. This is a new Work Sharp. I mean, it's smaller than a Sharpie basically, has a pocket clip on it. You know, we're actually using our tools. They're gonna get dull. It's not just pocket jewelry when we're talking about this type of, you know, stuff that we're looking at today. And so this has a diamond stone, ceramic stone, guided rods, or guided angles, easily able to hone and maintain blades when you're on the job site. And you know, you could put it in obviously your toolkit, but I've been carrying it all day in my back pocket if you wanted to. Now, I also have this DeWalt pen, and this is a 3-in-1 pen, because on the interior we have replaceable cartridge, comes with a spare cartridge pen. It writes well, does everything it's supposed to. You can make it elongated. That clip is removable, so it's durable. It's a DeWalt, you know, that's what you should expect. Now on one side we have a tactile point that's hard right here for when you have winter gloves or work gloves on and you have physical buttons you need to hit. So say a code to get into your Connex, to get into your shop, whatever, you gotta go beep, 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 and you don't wanna, you know, take your glove off. This will allow you to do that. On the flip, you have your tech tab, so you can touch your phone, you know, a work tablet maybe, and same scenario. You have heavy duty work gloves on, you have winter gloves, and you know, you just can't manipulate the tablet or your phone. This is gonna allow you to do that. So that's just a cool kind of 3-in-1 that I've been carrying and really pleased with. Now, as we open this up, and I'm sure you're like, what the heck is this tassel? We'll unzip that. Now, I actually cut off the metal tassels that came on this and put little reflective paracord run-throughs so that in the dark I could reflect it, you know, with light and stuff. On the inside, I have a right in the rain tablet, so you know, it's not, if it gets wet, it's not gonna run, it's not gonna, you know, fold and get nasty. So that we use notepads constantly when we're doing, you know, calculations and stuff for electrical runs and things of that nature. But inside this, we have a couple pockets. You could do business cards, but I have a Nitecore NB Air 5,000 milliamp battery charger. Look at how thin that thing is. Super slim. I've been sitting on it, driving with it, carrying it in here. It just slips away, so I could charge my phone, lights, do different things like that. And this tether right here is a USB-C tether. It's magnetized. I passed it through that paracord, and so I can completely remove it, pull it out of that paracord, and now plug it in and attach it to the battery bank and start charging. So it's all included, all there, ready to rock and roll in my back pocket. Now, next up is something that I don't think we talk enough about, but inside this little pouch are items that could literally save a life, and I've had to use them firsthand. I'm talking about an IFAK, individual first aid kit. I can't tell you how many times I would be up on some, you know, warehouse roof wiring up AC or something, and I don't even know where the closest med kit is, and it's going to take me 5 to 10 minutes to climb all the way down just to get to like where everyone else is working. And if I knew now what I knew back then, I would have this pouch with these items on me at all times, or in like a toolkit that goes with me everywhere. Now, this is just a little pouch that I just found on Amazon. It's 4x4x1. It does have some pass-throughs that you could run through PAL's webbing, or you could easily run any up to like a 2-inch belt through, no problem. Or because it's about 1.5 inches fully stuffed out, you could easily fit in like a cargo pocket if you wanted to do that, as long as you had like a decent cargo pocket. Now, it just has a Velcro tab, and I bought the pouch, then I bought the supplies inside. Absolutely know what you're doing, get training. I'm just giving you recommendations. I'm not a professionally trained medic or anything like that. Know your stuff, take your own risks when you apply, and use medical supplies. The first item would be a SWAT T tourniquet. This is what I had to use on a friend of mine years ago. This is what I had with me. We were camping. He stabbed himself in the thigh and gave himself a serious bleed. I deployed this on him. We had an hour to drive to get to the fire station when we didn't even have service until 10 minutes before. So he's kind of panicking, calling, trying to get a hold of somebody. We finally get service. EMTs are waiting for us in an ambulance. We get there. They look at how I put this on him. They said, you know what, we're not even going to touch that. Look, you look stable. We're going to just keep an eye on it, and we're going to get you the next hour to the doctor. He finally gets to the doctor. The doctor removes, stabilizes him, does what he needs to. And once he saw the wound, he said, if you didn't have this on, you probably would have bled out before you made it to those EMTs at the fire station. So that's why I take it with me, and it's more compact and just easy to use. A full-blown tourniquet would be better, but that's something that you'll carry on you and actually have with you. Then we have here a Celox coagulant bandage. Then we have here a little boo-boo kit with a few Band-Aids, and then some rubber gloves. So that's what's in there. And I've designed it this way so that you will actually have it on you. But I highly encourage you, regardless of how you live your life, if you work around power tools, you're on job sites, have something like this. It could literally mean the difference between life and death. So in some scenarios, a utility knife is not exactly what you need. You need more blade length and cutting power than what a little utility knife can offer. Well, then we have to look at either a compact fixed blade or a massive folder. And I'm going to give you guys two options here and kind of two recommendations. I would personally probably choose a fixed blade. And I really chewed on this for a while with both of these tools because, again, we want power and capability and performance, but we don't want to break the bank. What happens is this gets broken, lost, left on a job site by mistake. We want to be able to replace it and not just be like crying because it was a $500 knife. But we don't want like a hunk of junk $30 blade either. It is the Bronco Mini by BOKER. This is a German-made knife. It's 3.5 inches of blade length. It's a little over 1/8 inch thick with an overmold rubber handle, a taco designed sheath. Now, one of the main reasons is because we get this 3.5 inch blade, so we get maximum blade length for the size of it. It's still like put in your pocket, carryable, easily put on a belt, and you don't even know it's there. A lot of blade restrictions would fall within a lot of those requirements, but also it's the handle. This is a rubberized, overmolded handle, so you're not engaging with the metal at all. It's long, so even if you're in like cold weather environments with heavy duty winter gloves, you can grip this thing and still get the cuts that you need to. But if you're wearing or not wearing gloves, you have bare hands, it's very tactile and grippy and rubbery, so that you're not going to accidentally slide up and hurt yourself, and really gives you some tactile feel, and it's really long for the size. So you get this kind of maximum size and grip without having a maximum footprint. It's great. It really, I think, kind of hits that sweet spot. That would be my recommendation. Leave a comment. If you're going to go with a folder, Cold Steel AD10. This thing is a monster, 3.5 inches as well. Massive, beefy blade. My buddy, who runs his own handyman business, needed a folder. This is the model I gave him. I gave him the AD10 Lite, which is just a little bit more budget-friendly version. He loves it. And because it's like so beefy, huge grip, triad lock is almost indestructible, massive, beefy blade that you can really work with, use, and you're not really worried about it. And it's got deep guards and things, so you're not going to accidentally slide up and hurt yourself. And it's going to have an ambidextrous pocket clip that's really nice and large, so you can get over lots of different pairs of pants, things like that. So if you're going to go with a folder, this would be my recommendation, either the Lite, which is kind of just the more budget-friendly steel and handle material, or the premium in S35VN. Either one, go between like 100 and like 150 bucks. Just depends on variants and options and availability. Appreciate you guys so much. I hope it's been fun, entertaining, give you some food for thought. Leave those comments. I always discover new gear and equipment because of your guys' comments. So maybe I'll find a new piece that I absolutely love. Check out the other videos. Subscribe if you haven't. Till next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.